interest in the theme of today's meeting. So that is the reason I'm here. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
thank
me.
you, thank you for Toastmaster Ishika. So we all are here to become a better version of ourselves. And to get better, it's very necessary to improve three things. Improve three areas of development. And what are they? They are skill development, technology development, and personality development. You can write in your chat box what are the skills you have learned in last 6 months or you are learning. Anyone want to share any skill development, any skill they are improving? No. Any technology development, anything technical you are learning? So are you, yeah, Kamal, please go ahead.
In the technical skill development, it's not skill, actually technical development, this handling Zoom meetings, how to record, where to find it after recording, how to upload it after recording in YouTube. All this I have learned after joining.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Kamal. And same thing, I want to share you. Anyone want to share anything personality development on personality development? Okay, let me come to me. So I am learning public speaking and leadership development under in Toastmaster. That skill I am improving. I am learning same like Kamal to handle how to handle Zoom as well as how to prepare a poster on Canva. So I am developing my technology in Toastmaster. And in this beautiful fraternity, I am developing my personality also among all the beautiful and energetic Toastmasters. So my fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, please don't miss any of the Toastmaster meetings. Please try to join it. And if you are a future Toastmaster, please join Toastmaster as soon as possible. Money is not a matter. It will be back to you once you invest on yourself. With that, I would like to invite our very energetic VP Education Toastmaster Debanjana to take care of this whole meeting. Toastmaster Debanjana Ghosh, the e-podium is all yours.
Thank you, Madam President. Please keep the round of applause going on for our wonderful President. So, a very good morning to all the fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. You know, it's a very special day today in Globetrotters Toastmasters Club, as we're having a very interesting session where our keynote speaker is going to share her profound experience of Narmada Parikrama, enlightening us with the true meaning of gaining salvation and a trail of getting a purposeful and meaningful life. The session will be followed by a Q&A round where you can ask questions to the speaker related to the topic. But before I share the podium to the speaker, let me introduce her. When I asked her, could you please share your introduction with me? She told me, just introduce me with the name, as all other Toastmaster accolades really doesn't matter for today's meeting, which signifies she solely wants to keep the session in immersing us with the wisdom of meditation and its benefits. But let me tell you, she was conferred with an honorary doctorate in meditation practice by World Peace Institute of United Nations. So, without any further ado, please welcome our very own DTM Gayatri, who is going to guide on how to live life like a monk. So, ma'am, the podium is all yours. DTM Gayatri.
Thank you so much, Madam MC. Thank you, Debanjana, and a very warm welcome to all the guests who joined on a Sunday morning to listen to something that probably we don't really think about imagining on a Sunday. Thank you so much for joining. Before I start with what happened during the journey of Narmada Parikrama, I think it is important that I establish who I was before the whole thing started. I was somebody who was working with Times of India, Viacom 18, Z Network. I was working with film stars. I used to meet film stars from morning till the night. That was me with Vidyut Champal after a long discussion. And what I learned from him is something that till date stays with me. He's another spiritual soul who was the first person to introduce me to the book called You Can Heal Your Life by Dr. Lewis Hay. Had it not been for him, I probably would not have been able to come so far in my spiritual journey. Life in entertainment industry also introduced me to the stars with whom I would wine and dine. And yes, when I say wine, literally, I mean wine. I was not someone who would be going out, doing things, spending time with nature. Definitely not. I spent my life traveling all over the place, but the travel included a lot of luxuries. Shooting with Amir Khan, and from there, having tea with Sunny Leone. That is what my life was. In 2017, something happened and I hit rock bottom. I was in that dark pit of depression and I didn't really know what to do. So if you're asking me what was Narmada Parikrama for me, Narmada Parikrama for me was escape. As brutal as it may sound, as stupid as it may sound, as coward as I would look like today, as small as I would look like today, that is what it was. I thought my life had ended. But honestly, that was the most honest moment of my life. In the middle of Kurukshetra, when Arjun surrendered himself to Arjun surrendered himself to Krishna, and then Krishna gave him his wisdom. Arjun's life changed. When I was in that pit, I surrendered myself to Shiva. I surrendered myself to Ma Narmada. And so began my journey. I would like to explain the topography of River Narmada. It's unlike any other river. Of course, it originates from a mountain. But from there on, her journey is very different from what any other river's journey is. This is Amarkantak. This is somewhere on the border of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. From here, the journey of Narmada begins. A little backstory for the river Narmada. From where she originates, there are other two rivers also that originate. In India, majorly, we call all the rivers, we look at all the rivers as feminine. Correct? Does anybody know that there are two rivers who are male according to the overall ancient literatures? There are two rivers that are addressed.
Ganga.
Yes, Pooja?
Ganga.
Ganga is again female. We're talking
Brahmaputra?
about Brahmaputra. Yes, Brahmaputra is one river and there is one more.
Sindhu?
No, Sindhu is also female.
Achha.
Second one is Sonbhadra, the river Son. So river Sonbhadra originates right from where Ma Narmada originates. A little away, but it comes around the same place. And along with Ma Narmada, there is another river, River Juhila. Juhila, she also originates thereby. The story of Ma Narmada goes something like that, like this. Ma Narmada was born to a Michael mountain. She grew up there and she would play around with her friends there. Juhila was her best friend. As they grew up, Ma Narmada's marriage was fixed with Sonbhadra. And the plan was that Narmada and Sonbhadra would unite in the terms calling it marriage, and they would flow into River Ganga. And then that is how their journey would be. It was a solid plan. However, there is a drama, there is a twist every time. Juhila, who was Narmada's best friend, Narmada said to her that, I'm very curious. Who is this guy? I really want to meet him. I am going to marry this person. I need to know how he is. And how do I know that? Nobody is letting me meet him. That Juhila suggested that I would have gone and checked him out and come to you, but I don't have decent clothes to wear. I can't go in front of him like this. Ma Narmada offered her her own clothes. Juhila went to meet Sonbhadra to really see him, how he is, so that she could report to her BFF. Juhila went to meet Sonbhadra. Sonbhadra thought that is Narmada. He saw all the jewelries, he saw the clothes, and he was like, okay, this is Narmada. And he fell in love with her. Juhila saw him, and that was probably the highest order of betrayal. Juhila fell in love with Sonbhadra. Juhila had not returned for a long time, and Ma Narmada was like, where is she? What happened? She went looking for Juhila, and she caught Juhila and Sonbhadra in compromising situation red-handed. Her anger knew no bounds. We call it Raudra Roop for a reason. She was so angry. Sonbhadra and Juhila got so scared looking at her, got so scared of what she is going to do, that instead of Narmada and Sonbhadra this time, Sonbhadra and Juhila united and flew right into River Ganga. And they prayed Ma Ganga to protect them from Narmada's anger. Ma Narmada was in no mood for forgiveness. Then and there she took a decision. Now I am not going to marry. During that period, the Satyug as we know it, the norm, the custom was for all the rivers to flow towards the east. And Ma Narmada decided, to hell with the customs. I am flowing towards west. And I am daughter of Shiva. Who is going to stop me? Okay, I can see Mrinal in the waiting room. 1 second. And finally, she started flowing towards the west. Now, here is my question to you. What do you do when somebody is usually going against the social norms? Honest to heart, what do you tell that person when somebody is going against the social norms? How many hurdles do you put in their path? Yes, Richa.
I think the first thing that will be in our mind is we might say, are you crazy? What's wrong with you?
That is precisely, Richa, what Ma Narmada's father said to her. And he said, you are not going anywhere. And she said, who is going to stop me? And she continued moving towards the west. But her father had many brothers, which meant if Narmada decided to flow towards the east, there was a clear path. It was a clear path right into River Ganga. That because she had decided to go towards the west, there were a series of mountain ranges. Every river has to cross one mountain range. Ma Narmada started from one mountain range, that is Amarkantak mountain range. From there, she moved into the Vindhya mountain range. And from there, the Satpura mountain range. One mountain range after another. She broke the norms of society of that time, and she continued going towards the west. So we, the daughters of Ma Narmada, we usually say that all those mountains that she crossed are her uncles. We wouldn't call them evil uncles because, well, they wanted good for their daughter. So that is how her journey continued. There is also a bhajan where we actually epitomize the whole thing. Nikli jal dhara jod parbat pahad phod. Because she is known as the river who actually broke all the mountains. Which is one of the reasons why Narmada is not a river where you will find uniformity in her overall patra as we know it. Her overall river body, it does not have uniformity. Wherever she found narrow routes, she became very narrow and very deep. And she got out of that place. And where it was plain, her overall river body is simply huge. And the flow is unimaginable. Force is something that it's not easy to stand. While Ma Narmada was flowing towards the west, finally there was Sahasrarjun with his Sahasrabahu. He had 1,000 hands, and he is an epitome of, he's symbolized by a rock, like a very big rock, and he's known to have these 1,000 hands. And he fell in love with her and he said, I want to marry you. And she said, yes, but I have decided I'm never going to marry. And she said, he was like, I am Sahasrabahu. I have even fought Ravan and I have managed to win at one point. So if I want to marry you, I will marry you. And Ma Narmada was like, I am daughter of Shiva. If I don't want to do something, nobody can make me do anything. And there is this place near Maheshwar where we call it Sahasradhara, that is 1,000 streams, because there a battle between Sahasrarjun and Ma Narmada happened, and she flew right through his 1,000 hands. So there are 1,000 river streams that we see at Sahasradhara. And I would like to give you all a glimpse of what those streams would look like if you visit it. Now, obviously, if you're asking me if I have counted it, no, I have not counted it. But this particular portion, these are the 1,000 streams. It's not flowing like one big river. It is flowing through 1,000 different streams. That is what Ma Narmada had to endure. As she continued her journey flowing towards the west, what is one thing that every river ends up doing? What is the end of every river's journey? Anybody?
Goes
Yes,
to sea.
huh?
Goes to the sea.
It goes to the sea. Every river's journey begins somewhere on a mountain range mostly, and it ends with the river flowing into the sea. Now, the sea where Ma Narmada was supposed to go into was Arabian Sea. In our ancient scriptures, Arabian Sea is called as Ratna Sagar. Now, he was also very excited. Oh, Narmada, she refused so many people. She has fought so many people, but finally she has to come to me. He got a little overexcited, to say the least, and he saw Narmada coming towards him. He came forward to hug her. And Narmada took offense to that. She was like, what are you doing? And he was like, well, aren't you here for me? I mean, every river has to flow into some or other sea. And since you are flowing towards the west, you don't have an option. You have to get into me. So I just came here to welcome you. He was like, I don't have to do anything. If I don't want to meet the sea, I will not meet the sea. Now, geographically, it is practically impossible. I believe everyone will agree with me when I say that geographically, it is impossible that rivers like Ganga, Godavari, Narmada, force with which they flow, it is practically impossible that they are flowing towards the sea, but they don't go into the sea. Is it possible?
No.
It is not possible. But actually, that is what happened. Ma Narmada got so angry that even Ratnasagar was stumped. He could do nothing. He was just too scared to look at her entire Raudra room, and he froze. After he froze, Ma Narmada flew from both his sides and vanished. And when I say she vanished, geographically, Narmada River is the only river that does not meet ocean. To date, the scientists have not been able to find out where the whole force really goes. Genuinely, nobody has found it out. But we believe that Ma Narmada vanished. But every high tide, Ratnasagar, that is Arabian Sea, comes to touch her feet. The only time the Reva Sagar Sangam happens, meaning Ma Narmada meets the sea, that is Ratnasagar, is during the high tide. Otherwise, no. So far, so good. Everybody is with me. And now would you like to come along with me to this journey where we call as Narmada Parikrama? While going on Narmada Parikrama, there are a few things that we do. The first thing is we literally leave everything. So according to the rules, we are not allowed to carry any money of our own. We are not allowed to wear colored clothes. We wear white clothes only because Narmada River is one river who is symbolized with white clothes. Third thing is that you have to survive on charity. If you're not carrying your bhiksha, if you're not carrying your own money with you, that means you have to live on bhiksha. Fourth thing is that you have to walk. You cannot take any vehicle. It's like you taking a parikrama in a temple. We don't sit on something and take that parikrama. We just walk and take that parikrama. Over here, the entire river is that epitome, is that idol, is that temple that we are going to take parikrama to. So obviously, you're not supposed to wear shoes. However, in the past few years, that norm has changed a bit. A lot of people wear shoes and then they do parikrama. Barely every year, 4 or 5 people at the max, they do the parikrama without their shoes on. And even out of many people who start without shoes, at one point they end up wearing shoes. I was one of the blessed souls, I would say, that I did not wear a shoe until the very end. These are the clothes that I was wearing during the entire thing. There was this white color lungi. There was this white color kurta, a gamcha or an uparna as we call it. This particular skill that we see. Yes, somebody saying something?
Yeah, that's called uparna, and that's what means to dhoti, not
Yes.
lungi.
No, this is lungi. This is not dhoti. This is proper lungi. Dhoti is a little different. This particular stuff is something that we pick up when we start our journey. This particular stuff is symbol of Lord Shiva, who we believe is with us while we are on this journey. And we also end up taking something called as, in a small container, we hold Ma Narmada's little jal that we pick up at Omkareshwar. Now, here is somewhere we start our journey. I hope my cursor is visible. Is my cursor visible?
Yeah.
Cursor, I don't see. The picture is visible.
Yes, now it's visible.
Now
It's
it's visible.
now.
Okay, so this is the part, southern banks of River Narmada. Somewhere around here, we start our journey. I started here. We crossed the southern banks till here. We sat in a boat. We crossed and went to the northern banks. And then we started walking on the northern banks. These are the rivers which we crossed on our way. And then we finally reached Amarkantak. And then again came back on the southern banks. And then we finally come back to Omkareshwar. That is how the journey began. Now, in this particular journey, the first the first dangerous part comes somewhere in the Satpura range. It is called as Shulpani Ki Jhari or the Shulpani jungles. It's a wildlife safari. People in that part of the country, they started wearing clothes some 15 years ago. When I was there in 2018, there were still these old people who did not wear clothes. Now that this was that part where usually when the Parikrama Vasis would travel, they would usually get looted. Because number one, what are you hiding? Now, when we wear clothes, we're not really hiding anything. It is our modesty. For them, why are you hiding something? You have something to hide. It used to be a very difficult period for Parikrama Vasis. I was again lucky that I did my parikrama during the time when even those people were becoming gradually a part of civilized world. The government had started building roads into those mountains. So there are these 7 mountains, out of which 7 mountains, 3 mountains had started the work of road. Now, how are these mountains? And how are these villages? You climb one big mountain. On that one big mountain, there are 3, 4 small hills, sometimes 5. On each of these hills, there are a couple of huts, and together they make a village. When I started my journey into that particular part of the country, into that particular part of the river, here is what had happened with me before that. I had fallen ill. I was on saline for nearly 10 days within the first week of my parikrama. Everybody had already given up that Gayatri is not going to be able to finish it because it's practically impossible, because I came from a very privileged background, as I established before starting everything.
So you have to go to Amarkantak.
No, I started from Omkareshwar. I have to come back to Omkareshwar.
You have started from Omkareshwar.
Yes, okay. And I have to come back to Omkareshwar after taking the whole round.
You have to came to that position only from where you have started.
Correct. That is how we complete parikrama. Even when we are in the temple, we take a round circumference around our deity and come back to the place where we started. That is what makes the parikrama complete.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yes.
How many days it takes?
For me, it took 7.5 months. It is 3,500 kilometers. Mostly people completed.
With what you have started means Jal Parikrama or Dudh Parikrama. What you have started? You are saying that 7 months it took around. So means what related things means something you have used for that related complete your parikrama?
I did not get your question, Pooja.
I want to say that during your parikrama, what did you took for means to do all parikrama?
Oh, okay. That I'm just coming to that. Because it's a part of Sankalpa and everything. So I'm just coming to that. We start our parikrama. Now, when I started it, like I mentioned, that I was on saline immediately. Now, the reason why I was on saline, like I mentioned, I came from a very privileged background. I want to eat this. I don't want to eat this. The whole thing will be ready in the house. And what do? We order Zomato because we don't like what is prepared at home. For the first 10 days, I got to eat vegetable only twice. Everywhere else, it was only dal and roti. And roti, they call it as tikkar. Tikkar is like this thick. It's like nearly 3 centimeter thick roti. This is what they call as tikkar. So it was a little difficult for me in the beginning to really even find food to eat that I would be able to eat. However, on the 10th day, when I actually fell ill, it was kind of a little difficult. Today, all my doctors in the family come to conclusions like there was too much of red chili powder, there was less of oil and ghee, or that they come up with a lot of things. There were no vitamins because vegetables were not there. Moral of the story, I was on saline, and after I got out of saline, I had to enter into the Shulpani jungle within 2-3 days. Now, here is the answer to what Pooja asked me. When I started my journey, there is this one bag that we would carry, and everything used to be in that bag. Okay, I think the screen will be visible now. Yes. Okay, is this particular bag and this, can you see this particular sleeping mat?
Yeah.
And this particular kamandalu in the hand, steel container. This is all I used to have. One dress I was wearing, one dress was inside this bag, along with a couple of more things like a little bit of blanket, a little bit of things that I usually would need. And since I'm a woman, I would have periods, so I had to carry some amount of sanitary napkins as well. So all of that in that one bag. I used to carry one separate bottle as well, which I'll explain if time permits why. The journey started with all of those things. And obviously, since I come from the privileged background, there was obviously a lot of money given to me, just in case I need. A lot of medicines were given to me. It was very heavy. I couldn't carry it. On the second day, I gave away all the medicines to one of the ashrams where we were staying. Fourth day, I gave away the money to this particular boy who used to serve food to all the Parikrama Vasis who would come there. And then finally, when we were in Shulpani, what I had was the clothes I was wearing, the clothes in the bag, a kamandalu in my hand, and a staff in my hand. Now, here was the catch. It was the month of December. It is very cold there in December. The temperatures were under 4 degrees when I was there. And when you climb at the top, it goes to 0 degrees. At 0 degrees, you don't get snowfall. You get snowfall at -4 degrees. The problem was there were no bathrooms in this particular journey when you're going. You are literally bathing on the river. Now, in India, traditionally, customary, it is okay to bathe in the river. But once we enter the Shulpani thing, it takes roughly like 7 to 10 days to really cross that entire mountain range. And I had 3 questions in my mind. What if I bathe and I once again get fever? Second, if I get fever, who is going to come and do anything? Because there is no range for my mobile and there is nowhere my parents are going to find me here. At least where I had fallen sick, those people at least got in touch with my father. My father told them that I'll send you the money, just get your treatment done.
Means you can stop means in some place or for a camping, it's like camping things.
That is, yes, Pooja, that is precisely. Yes, that is precisely what my mother also thought, that it is like camping, but it is not like camping, because when you say it is camping, you know where you are going to camp. There are people waiting for you there. All the facilities are made available for you there. Over here, once I start, I don't know where I'm going to stop. I have to camp out.
You are saying that if you got fever or means if you are tired and you are shivering like anything, you don't have anything to wear. It's a cold condition was too cold.
Correct.
And the temperature was around -4 degrees.
No, it was when I was there, it had fallen under 4 degree, but the temperature remained between 0 degrees and 4 degrees.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Means you could have stopped somewhere for shelter. Means like shelter, we stop somewhere to just to take a rest or some way and then start again.
We wait in various places. Sometimes we find an ashram, sometimes we don't find an ashram. So when
means you have to stop in an ashram only.
Not necessary. There are some places where there are no ashrams. So there were a few times when I had to camp out on the roadside or the riverside, as we call it, on the banks of rivers. Sometimes I had to camp out under a tree in a jungle. Sometimes I had to camp out in the veranda of your houses. Like there are some people who they let us stay in the verandas.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's that kind of a thing. Okay. So where was I?
You were saying that you have to go for camping somewhere. You have to stay. Stop.
Yeah. So no, we were not camping yet. I was just talking about we had to
Shulpani mountain.
Hi Rishikesh. Hi Rishikesh.
Yes.
Yeah. So while entering into the Shulpani thing, the idea is that the point I wanted to make was that what I was carrying there, I had started with a lot of baggage, but slowly and steadily, a lot of it I was just, leaving behind me. While we entered in this particular Shulpani area, we were about 40 Parikrama Vasis together. And everybody started together because everybody would say it is a very dangerous place because there are many animals over there, because it is wildlife safari. There are many tribals over there who do not live by our society rules. And it's just unsafe for women. After many people pleaded to me that you go back and don't walk on this path, we continued. The problem was everybody else was wearing shoes, so they could walk fast. I was not wearing shoes, which effectively meant that my speed had slowed down considerably because every time there was a thorn, every time there was a rock, every time there was something hurting me in my foot. Everybody went forward. I didn't want anybody to stay back for me. For nearly 2 mountains, it was me and me alone. I was taking the name of Ma Narmada, Narmade Hara, Narmade Hara, Narmade Hara. Was I scared? I was very scared because these tall bushes, and there was constantly some or other noise coming from somewhere. And you know that it's an animal, but you don't have the courage to even look back and see which animal it is. You just continue looking down, walking, because there's nothing else you can do over there because now I'm in the middle of nowhere. And finally, I started telling myself, okay, this was a very bad idea. If I'm in depression, I could go out for shopping. And that is probably what I should have done. I should not have come here. Okay, Ma, the moment I get out of this mess, I'm taking my bus back home. I'm not even going to tell anybody that I'm coming back, but this is it. This is where my journey ends. The first place where I find some vehicle. Another problem was that I was walking in that direction, but I still don't know if I'm going in the right direction. And then there was one point wherein there was this one part going here and one part going there. I don't know where I'm going. You look up, I was like, okay, let's go here. What worse can happen now? I'm in the middle of nowhere. If I die, my parents are not going to find me. Nobody is ever going to know what happened to me. I started walking on that path. Now, far behind, there was a couple who had asked me very nicely, do you want us to walk with you? And I had said, no, I don't want to trouble anyone. Please go. And then they had left me behind. After crossing 2 mountains, when in that place, I didn't know whether this was the right path or that was the right path, and I had taken this path. I saw both of them sitting like this. And I was like, oh, you are resting. And both of them looked at me, and I don't know what to make out of that look. They were like, no, we are not resting. We are waiting for you. We have 5 daughters, and we thought to ourselves, if it was our daughter, what would we have done? And the man said that my wife has an extra pair of socks with her. You can wear that. I said, no. If I have come this far, Ma will take me ahead. And I had prayed to Ma Narmada that I was very egoistic when I said that I don't need anyone, but trust me, I really need help now. And she had sent this couple for me. People ask me if I met God in the Parikrama. For me, they were the avatars of Lord Shiva and Parvati who was sitting there because they thought of me as their daughter. Finally, I arrived at a place where all the Parikrama Vasis had camped. And over there, yes, Pooja, it was really a camp because a few years ago, one Mahatma Maharajji, a Swami, had already created a camp over there. This particular camp is near Narmada Dam, the dam which was in use for a very long time. Over there, when I arrived, all the Parikrama Vasis who had arrived there 3 to 4 hours before me, they were simply shocked to see me because they said, we saw the roads and we thought it would take you at least 2 days to reach here. How did you reach here? And show us your feet. I was like, why do you want to see my feet? Turns out everybody who was wearing shoes had some or other injury to their foot in spite of wearing shoes. And my feet were as if they were just out of a pedicure. Everybody was laughing. Everybody had their faith reinstated. And then the journey began. Finally, again, everybody moved forward. This couple also moved forward. And while I arrived in this one particular village, now again, village, like I said, a big mountain, a couple of hills over there. And then in one hut, we were told that just go and ask them if they are willing to let you stay in the veranda. Over there, I saw one Babaji and one Mataji. The Mataji, I had met her during the beginning of my journey. A rather shameful thing. Shameful thing because we had to wash our own clothes. We had to do everything on our own. I was so bad at washing clothes that in the afternoon after having food, when I would wash my clothes, put them to dry and go to sleep, this lady would get up, take off all my clothes, wash them again, and then dry them again. And the standing joke there was, Diji ko to kuch bhi na aave hai. This girl knows nothing. She's just grown up. And there I saw this lady again. Before the journey began, I was talking about something regarding bathing early morning in that temperature and everything, that too in the open. This was about 5th day that I had not taken bath because my motive was, forget about bathing, I just need to get out of this place alive. And I cannot afford to fall ill. This time when I saw both of them, they both were like, in my head, a little irritating people because I just found them very irritating. But they were like, now that you are here, we are going to walk with you. Now nothing will happen to us. The 3 people who were walking was an old lady, me without shoes, and another person who had found himself in that particular position unplanned because he had some injury in his knee and he was not allowed to walk much. These were the 3 people there. When we arrived at this particular hill and there was this hut, this particular person, of course, we don't understand the language, but we, with gestures that can stay here, we'll just sit here. And they were like, sit, no problem. They are also sitting, nothing happening. It was night now. I did not have the energy to really walk. I mean, I had to cross another mountain, and even if I had started at 4 p.m., there was no way I was going to be able to cross that mountain before 7 p.m. So I decided that I don't want to walk in the night. So we requested them if we can stay there for the night. Those people said yes. Now it was night. I did not have a blanket during that time. What I had was a plastic, a big plastic. So in the night when we used to sleep, we used to take that plastic. Obviously, there used to be dew that would be accumulated. Then you flip the plastic and then you take it. There were 2 things I had never thought I would have to see in my life. First, I never thought that it would be cold. It would ever be so cold that I would never have a blanket to protect me from it. Second, I never thought that there would be a heat wave and I would have no home or shelter to take. Both the things happened here. I really never thought that it would be a winter where I would have no blanket. Worst part was the person came out with a small bakri ka bacha, a goat's baby and tied it and told us to come inside the hut. He was like, well, since it's just 3 of you, just you can come and sleep with us. Now we were VIP. Since I was VIP, I got to sleep with the cows. People who were less VIPs, they slept with the hens and the cocks. We were worried, what about that goat's kid? That goat's baby is outside, it is so cold. What if it dies? And the man, somehow one person over there was urban guy because he had just returned from his urban journey. And he told, oh, if we don't tie a bakri ka bacha over there, the animal will come and take away our baby. I did not have the courage to ask which animal is going to take their baby. I did not have the courage to ask how many animals were there, but it was enough to tell me that there were a lot of them and they were all carnivores who would not think twice before eating a human being. Amidst all of this, when it was nearly 3:30 a.m., here is what had happened to my body clock. My body was set to a clock wherein at 4 a.m., come what may, I had to attend to the nature's call. This time it was very difficult because 1, it was 0 degrees. 2, there was an animal outside who could have eaten me. And 3, I could not control my bladder. I had to get out there. The fear I had, I cannot really describe in words. I still don't know how that happened, but I did attend to the nature's call and I swore to myself, I'm never doing this again. Finally, we were out of Shulpani jungle. After 8 days, I finally took a bath. I had lost all the shame. I had lost all the fear. I had lost everything that was with me, and my bag on my shoulders was lighter than ever. And somewhere even my mind was lighter than ever. I had learned my lessons of minimalism. This was the beginning of my journey. My parents came to meet me once. Then I crossed to the northern bank. The journey on the northern bank started, and that was another turning point of my life, where I got to walk with a monk from Divine Life University for about 1 whole month. And he taught me a lot of things. I learned Bhagavad Gita from him. I learned all the religious texts from him. And I got a lot of answers from him. One question which I asked him was that everybody in this room is probably aware of certain sages from our ancient scriptures who were known for their anger. One of them was Rishi Durvasa. And Rishi Durvasa was known for his angers, wherein even the kings were scared of him. I asked him that if you are saying that they were sages, they were knowledgeable, they had reached the peak of their salvation, why were they so angry? Which is when I got my first lesson of difference between being angry and showing anger. Swamiji said to me that if Rishi Durvasa or the sages of that time did not show their anger, the kings would have become very egoistic. The kings would have had no fear, and it would have been anarchy. You always need a saint who can show his anger in a way that everybody shivers at his name. They were never angry, but they were very good at showing anger to ensure that the kings governed properly. And suddenly that answer made sense. I revisited a few stories of Rishi Durvasa and I noticed that he may have been the one who showed anger, but he was also very quick in giving the antidotes. He was quick in forgiving. And that changed my perspective towards a lot of things entirely. The journey continued. During that time, I had learned Bhagavad Gita, I had learned Vishnu Sahasranam, and once again, I found myself alone, walking from one village to another. Here is what had happened. When you are with a group, it was okay. I could make like 100 rotis at a time, which I have made during the journey. But when you're alone, you don't feel like doing anything. What to do? So there was this one person who told me, you know what? Your puja is really very well. Just do it in loud voice. People will come and give you food. I was like, how is that going to work out? But one day I arrived at a village. I had walked about 15 kilometers and I was really very tired and I had no strength in me to really make anything. I asked them for bhiksha. They said, we'll give you sadavrat. Sadavrat is everything separate, which I have to cook. I told them, okay, I'll complete my puja and I'll come back and take it from you. Once I started my puja went on for like about 1 hour and I was doing it in a very loud voice, loudest possible. And I realized that once I do that, people come back with the ghee ki roti for me. And that is how my next couple of months were, wherein I would go from one village to another. I would perform puja in a hope that somebody might just give me something to eat so that I don't have to make it. Sometimes I got it, sometimes I had to do it on our own. There were certain places like Lakkadkot Jhadi and Amarkantak Jungle wherein we were carrying Patanjali noodles because again, making food over there was crazy. So that was one place where I did eat Maggie because that was the easiest thing to do because it's easiest to make. You need less water, you need everything less. And that was me shamelessly eating Maggie in Lakkadkot Jhadi, and one of the shishya, one of the disciples of this monk clicked that picture for me and said, we are going to share it with your parents. I said, this goes on my profile on Facebook because when I go back to my original life, I'm sure people would want to listen to my maybe Parikrama Wali Maggie story. Finally, coming back from Amarkantak to the southern banks of River Narmada, there were a lot of things that happened during this journey. Everything cannot be encompassed in one session. But yes, there is one particular hymn we sing when we are singing Narmada Ashtakam, which says, Katam tadaiva me bhayam twadambu vikshitam yada mukundu sunu shaunaka surari sevitam sada. Looking at your massive, huge river body, my fear is vanished. And like I explained, throughout this journey, I lost fear. And I learned the lesson that just because I have lost fear doesn't mean that I have to just go thoughtlessly. The second lesson which I spoke to all of you about was the difference between showing anger and being angry. Today I find myself in a place wherein I have taken Chanakya's teachings literally. A snake may not be venomous, but should not forget to show the fang. Something what Swami Jidnyasanand Saraswati also told me over there. Just because you have completed this journey, you will lose all your anger, but that doesn't mean you stop showing your anger. Sometimes for the benefit of others, you have to continue showing your anger because you are fearless, so nobody can do anything to you. After returning from journey, I found myself wherein there were once again death threats because of my father's position. There were many other threats that were happening, but fear did not touch me. I find myself in that place today. I see the red card has been here for a long time. I'm sorry for going overtime today. Thank you so much, Pranal. Thank you so much, Sushmita. Thank you so much, Devanchana. Thank you so much to the entire Globetrotters team. I see Kamal here. I see Richa here. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I don't think I have ever shared all these things anywhere. I have not even, I mean, there are many people who go sharing, like Rishikesh Gokhale is joining here from Pune. He can tell you that people who return from Narmada Parikrama usually for the next 1 year, all they are doing is doing the Kathan because everybody just wants to listen to it. I have not really done this. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I would like to hand over the stage back to the MC, Devanchana.
A big round of applause for DTM Gayatri for sharing her wonderful experience on Narmada Parikrama. Like, ma'am, I should really say that your journey was really beautiful as well as adventurous, and also you have shared so many history about Narmada, so we got enlightened, and I think many of us have got enlightened with your session. So without any further delay, like I have few questions already like in my hand, so if anyone else is interested to ask questions, please message me separately so I can ask to DTM Gayatri. Okay, so the first question is from TM Rishikesh Gokhel. So his question is, how and when you used to take rest or take food?
Because I was walking barefoot, anytime my foot had an injury, I had to stay back. So there was no specified time for me. There used to be plans, Rishikesh. I mean, you know that in whenever people from Maharashtra go there, they have their decided stops, like what Pooja had said, camping points. I never managed to reach those camping points. Very rarely I reached there. And food, I used to ask for bhiksha. More or less, people would look at me and give it to me. Mostly, I got the prepared food to eat.
Okay, so my question was like, at any point in evening, you used to stop and decided that I don't want to continue my journey and I want to take rest, or whenever you feel tired, you used to take rest. What was your
I
journey?
used to take rest whenever I felt tired, which is why,
Okay,
and because if the foot is hurt, there was no way I could walk. So whichever
okay,
tree was around, I used to take rest under that tree. And if it was a village, then somebody would see, they would ask me if I want some food to eat, they would give me food to eat. Once even baraf ka gola wala gave me a baraf ka gola to eat. Like, look, I
okay.
was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Great. So I think he is having another question. So his second question is, what prompted you, or is there any intuition that you got to start the Narmada Parikrama?
Yeah, so this Rishikesh, I had explained in the beginning. I
Yeah.
was in depression. It was an escape for me. I was in depression, and instead of going for shopping, Europe tour or something, I went here. That is all.
Okay. Yeah, I joined bit late, so I thought maybe you have explained this earlier.
Uh,
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, great. So moving on to the next question is from TM Chetan Patel. His question is, what happened to Bakri ka Bachcha?
so in the morning when I had to go for nature's call at 3:30 a.m., the Bakri ka Bacha was not there, which is why I was more scared than ever. Because it had gone. And the reason why I say that after I got out of there, I had no shame remaining in me was that usually when you're attending the nature's call, you go to a place where nobody's watching you. I was too scared to go far away from there because there were way too many animals around. I did not, and there were foxes over there, and I could not even identify difference between a dog and a fox. Once I was walking straight towards the fox, wherein two men literally dragged me. I was scared that they are what is happening to me. That was you. I mean, it is like middle of nowhere. You have two men dragging you. It was then I realized that they were trying to explain in their own language that they are foxes, not dogs. They would have eaten you alive. They were basically protecting me over there. So I was too scared. The Bakri ka Bacha was gayab. That is why I was more scared.
Okay. So I think like, is there any other questions? Like I didn't receive any question yet. The remaining questions. If there is any, please reply to me, like send it to me.
Shaumita has asked how I have evolved as a person after this parikrama. After parikrama, all of my energies are very channelized. I find myself involved but not entangled. I do things without any attachment, which actually makes things easier for me. A couple of instances after parikrama, I found myself in a situation wherein I was surprised at myself about why I was not feeling anything, especially the fear part that is completely gone. I mean, when I would get threats, it was more like I have slept in jungles, I have survived on charity, I have lived in places where there is no way a person would come out alive. क्या ही कर लोगे इसके आगे जाके? So even the death threats at that point in time, fear never touched me. Fear is gone.
Yes. Okay. So the next question is from TM Shushmita. Did you follow any fitness regime before this journey, as the Parikrama journey was really difficult?
I was not planning on going here in the first place. It was more like I just felt one day and I started, which is why half the people in my family had a bet. She returns in 1 week or she returns in 21 days. All of my family, even they did not believe I would complete it. I was 82 kgs when I started. And the description that would go around was, there is a Mataji coming from behind. There is a Maiya moti moti si chota chota sa baal hai, because I had cut my hair very short for the lack of maintenance. And like I said about the anger part, after Swami Jigyasanand Saraswati had told me that you show anger, don't hide it. There was one point wherein the police had informed all the Parikrama Vasis that there are some murderers who are disguised as Parikrama Vasis, so we are searching. If you see someone fishy, tell us. And there was this one guy who, he was in his mid-40s, mid-50s. There was something about him, it just didn't feel right. And at one point he even said to me, Nirbhaya cases happen with women like you. And he said that when I was with 2 other sadhus over there, and that was one time I hit him, and I literally hit him. And after that incident, the thing was, I was called as the Jamadagni ka avatar. So everybody knew about, there is this one Maiya who is walking alone and she's Jamadagni's avatar. Stay away from her, give her what she needs, don't mess with her. So the anger, was I angry? No, I was not angry. Was I showing anger adequately as and when required? Because I realized when you show your anger adequately, things come by. I got very good at canalizing my emotions.
Great.
And
yes. So thank you so much, DTM Gayatri, like for answering all the questions. Like I know we are already like overshooted the time, but still like it was such a pleasant to hear all of your experiences. So everyone, this is the end of the session, Q&A session. If anyone is having any other questions, they can ask me later. I will reach out to DTM Gayatri. Okay, so the next session, like we have to pivot to the next interesting session, which is the table topics session. So but before us beginning the table topic session, I would like to call the table topics evaluator of the day. So the table topics evaluator is none other than our very seasoned Toastmaster DTM Ayan Pal, who has been a 3-time distinguished Toastmaster and former district champion of impromptu speaking. He has played several leadership roles across District 82, 41, and 124. Also, he served 56 times Club EC officer, 45 times club sponsor or mentor, and 9 times district officer. He's currently serving as District 124 as an immediate past district director. Though like there's a lot about him to tell, but now I have to give him the podium. So sir, please come to the podium and describe your role and of your tag players roles as well. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you so much, Debanjana. So today my role as the table topic evaluator is kind of like the general evaluator, but only for table topics. And it is both a pleasure and privilege to introduce you to the 2 wonderful people who will be helping me effectively play this role. The first is a mother to a darling daughter who is currently employed as an HR executive in the Reliance Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our timer for today, Madhurima.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I will time the table topics, speakers, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and the red cards. Table topic speakers, please note there is a grace period of 30 seconds both on the upper and the lower side. At 1 minute, I will erase the green card like this. And at 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card like this. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Okay. I will present my report when called upon to do so by the table topics evaluator. Thank you. And over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Madhurima, for raising the bar. Just one clarification, you will be changing your backgrounds, not literally raising a card. So I think I'm going to look out for that. And now, dear members as well as guests, it's time to introduce to you an entrepreneur and a businesswoman who's keen on pursuing arts as crafts. She's currently serving as the secretary of Globetrotters Toastmasters Club and is going to be playing the role of the language evaluator, which is a combination of the R counter as well as grammarian. Please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Pooja Mohta.
Hello everyone, good morning to all. First, I will start with the R counter. Good morning. I am the R counter of the day. As a R counter, I will note the words and sound and use crunch or filler words by the speaker. During the meeting, I will listen to the crunch words and but you know. I will note when the speaker repeats the phrases that not needed for the long or short pauses. I will give my report when called by the TTM handball or grammarian.
Pooja, your voice is not very clear. It's coming and going. So if you can just check and tell us a little bit more clearly what you do as a grammarian. The R counter bit was clear.
Sorry?
The R counter bit was clear, but your voice is not coming across clearly all through. So can you just tell us again, what will you do as the grammarian?
Okay, yeah. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers and role players and to listen carefully the language used. I will take a note of any correct usage of grammar as well as the good usage of the word, quotes, saying and thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Please allow me to share my screen so that I can share the word of the day.
Sure, Pooja. Can we have screen sharing access provided to Pooja Mohta, please? I think that's taking some time. While that happens, Pooja, can you just tell us what the word of the day is?
Okay. Ameliorate. The word of the day is ameliorate.
What's the spelling?
Okay, just writing it on no.
Pooja, you have the screen sharing access.
Okay. Can't able to. Yeah, sure. I've got it.
Like if Pooja, if it's taking time from your end, it's better if you can share in the chat box itself, like the meaning and the word.
Thanks, Devanjana. Thanks, Gayatri. So I could not hear properly. Maybe it's just me. It seemed like the word of the day is emulate. But if that is not, can you please tell us what the word of the day is? Pooja?
Yeah. I'm writing it on the chat box.
All right. So while Pooja does that, please understand Pooja is going to be the language evaluator, which is a combination of the role of the R counter as well as the grammarian. You will find the word of the day being posted in the chat. As table topic speakers, I know it's very difficult, but if you can use word of the day, it'll be even better. That having been said, thank you so much, Pooja, for playing the double role today, and I'm triply excited to see you perform. I would like to hand it back to the Master of Ceremonies to take things forward. Over to you, Debanjana.
Yes. Thank you so much, DTM Ayan and TM Pooja and TM Madhurima, for explaining your role so gracefully. So now it's the time to conduct the session on table topics. So for that, we have a very beautiful and a graceful DTM Richa, who has been a soft skills trainer for more than 17 years. She has been awarded as Distinguished Toastmaster Award in Communication and Leadership Excellence and Mentor from IIT and IIM. Nevertheless, she is even an entrepreneur and felicitated by the Rotary Club, World Integrity Center, and Wonder Woman as Woman Entrepreneur. So without any further delay, ma'am, please come to the stage and you can start the table topic session. So come to this, the stage is all yours. DTM Richa.
Thanks a lot for such a warm welcome. So let's try to ameliorate the synergy in the meeting room by the enthralling table topic session. So are you all ready? Good to go? For the benefit of the guest, in the table topic, the guest will get a privilege to participate. The maximum time for you to speak and to share the views on the given topic would be for 1 to 2 minutes. The grace has already been marked as 30 seconds. I'm sure the timer is going to record the time and will share the report later on. So it is time for me to start with this wonderful round of table topic. Table topic is speaking on the feet. It is also known as an impromptu session. So for the benefit of guests, I would like to invite somebody who is a seasoned Toastmaster to be there as the first speaker. So who would like to nominate himself? You may raise your hand or you may unmute yourself. Or do you want me to pick up? Today I have all the power to pick up the person whom I like to hear. So let me invite Toastmaster Madhusudan. Are you there with us?
Yes, madam.
Good. So your topic is travel is an investment in yourself. Travel is an investment in yourself. Toastmaster Madhusudan.
Everyone loves to travel. By traveling, we meet so many persons and different cultures, and we would like to know, and we would hear something we don't know. Whenever we speak something, we know what we know. When we hear from others, we'll be knowing their ideas, which we may not be knowing at all. So traveling is one of the best investments to keep ourselves from mundane tasks that we will be doing from Monday to Saturday. And everyone looks for the weekend so that we would have some better time to recharge ourselves and work for the next day with full vigor and enthusiasm. Travel is one of the most India as well as other countries. It is widespread with different cultures, different religions, different setups, and different atmosphere. What is available in one place may not be available in other place. So you would be knowing their customs, their religions, and we will also be knowing by traveling how we can ameliorate ourselves as well as ameliorate others. Over to you.
Thanks a lot for that wonderful contribution of your views. I would appreciate if everybody gives a raise of hand or a thumbs up whenever somebody uses the word of the day. So this is how we all are going to enhance our vocabulary skills as well. So who's coming next? I have already one hand up, and in fact, two, and both are Sushmita. So this chance is for Sushmita Sen Gupta. Over to you. Are you there with us? Am I audible and visible?
Yes, Table Topic Master, I'm here.
Great. So the topic for you is the earth has music for those who listen. The earth has music for those who listen. Over to you, Toastmaster Sushmita.
Our mind is a wonderful gadget. Yeah, I say it as a gadget. And it attracts the things we want to get attracted. As per the topic, the earth has a wonderful music. And you know what? This wonderful music can be heard by a dumb person, a deaf person as well. You know why? Because that person wants to hear this music. It's all in the mind, it's all in what we want to attract. It ameliorates us from inside. And I have felt this in many instances of my life. There were certain points of my life where I felt low for innumerable reasons. There were certain points in my life where I felt that this is the end. I could not move ahead in my personal and professional life. But I kicked back. And you know, that didn't came from anyone else. That came from inside. And that's how I relate those incidents with the table topic, the wonderful table topic you have given me today. So everything is inside, my dear friends. There's nothing that you need an external force to make you think good or work good or push you towards your goal. The day you are awake is the day when you start your journey. And you know, best dream happens when we are awake. I never say that we are dreaming and we are about to fulfill the wish. The day when you wake up in the morning with a full desire of the dreams you have been nurturing for many, many years, and the day when you, with your wide open eyes, you hear that beautiful sound from within, that is the earth, I can relate to, you can definitely soar high. So wake up, my dear friends. It's all within you. Be ready to listen to the music of earth and your soul. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. Back to you.
Thanks a lot. I just noticed your name is Somita. Apologies from my side. Actually, we have one graceful lady here who always has a mark in the meeting. So my attention was there.
I was
Well,
enjoying
thanks a
because
lot. Thank
I
you.
was enjoying
So,
because many people had told me Shushmita Sen initially, so I really enjoy it. So
okay,
thank you.
wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Well, I would like to call next person as Poonam. Poonam, are you there in the room? Am I audible to you and visible?
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
I'm there.
So the topic for you is to travel is to live. To travel is to live. All yours, Poonam.
Traveling is something I really look forward to. You know, someone told me you should always travel thrice in a year. I said, is it possible? What are you talking? My friend was saying, yes, why not? When you are working day in and day out, why can't you take a break for at least 3 times in a year? I said, you're talking about as if that to eat 3 meals in a day. I said, it's not possible. One vacation, good vacation is enough because that gives me the energy to be happy, to be rejuvenated, and to ameliorate myself in all the different sectors of life. He said, see, you're answering yourself. This helps you one if you travel once. If you travel twice in a year, the amount of energy it will give you. And I was somewhere hooked with that. And you know, I just had a fight day before with my husband that I want to travel twice in a year. He said, who has taught you all these things? Please don't make your friend go. I said jokes apart, but it really works. Traveling with your family, traveling with your friends. It is the best thing which we can give to ourselves. God has made such a beautiful world. Why not travel? Why not experience it? Seeing other pictures on social media makes us so jealous that I want to be there. Then take a step forward. Take an initiative to reach that place and experience with your own eyes. The amount of energy, the amount of happiness it gives you has no match in the world. Flipping pictures on the magazine and going there itself helps you. This is what I did by going for the first Himalayan trek this year in June with my family. And let me tell you, it was one of the experience which I had in the mountains, camping, sleeping in the tents, and beautiful Himalayan range in front of me, experiencing those food. It was a luxurious trip, though everything planned, but we really had a good time. So I would suggest everyone should travel. Thank you, and over to you.
Thanks a lot for giving us so much in this meeting room to add value and also to remember that we must travel often. It is time to call one more speaker. Can we have Leena Jain? Are you there with us? We
I
have.
am here.
You are
Good
not
morning to
visible.
you all. Yeah,
Wow. Thank
yeah.
you for turning on
Thank
your
you so
camera.
much.
I would appreciate if everybody turns on the camera so that I can see your beautiful faces and also see whether you are enjoying the meeting or not. So I have a topic for you, Leena. Your topic is my traveling kit. Tell us something about my traveling kit. Over to you, Leena.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richa. So again, my traveling kit. Yes, for a mother of three daughters, what will you expect from her? Definitely, bags and bags of clothes, bags and bags of makeup and toiletries, and with your husband, bag of things, a packet of munching. I'm tired of all this, I must tell you. But yes, when I travel alone, I'm minimized. I take along only my minimum thing I require and bring back lots and lots of memories, lot and lots of memories of not all the places I have seen, but of the people who have helped me along my journey. Like I remember last time when I was traveling along, I had a small bag, a cabin bag with me, but which I was unable to lift it. A young boy, he just took the bag and kept it on the luggage space. I was so fascinated by his gesture. Till now, I might have forgotten the things I've seen there, but I still remember the one help from this boy. Yes. So when you travel, I think you carry a lot, but bring back is what only memories from your journey. Thank you. Over to you.
Wow, it was a pleasure hearing you. Please keep coming in Globetrotters. We would
Thank
love to have you again and again. If time allows, can we have one more speaker? I leave it to our MC to judge
Yes,
and let me know.
yes, DTM.
Thank you. I'm so happy. So, can we have somebody who's there with SG name? I don't know who is this hiding behind the camera. Wow, we can see a beautiful lady. Can I have the pleasure of knowing your name, please?
My name is Shravani Ghorai from
Wow.
Jammu.
Okay. Wonderful. So your topic is I believe in magic. I believe in magic. Over to Shravani. Please unmute yourself. You are
Yes,
on mute. Yes.
it is rightly said that give a girl a shoes, she will conquer the world. Today, I would like to give not my example, I would like to give our Honorable DTM Gayatri Deshmukh because she took us such a wonderful way in her journey. It's don't you believe it's a magic, not less than magic? Yeah, for me, it's a magic when she said like that way. No, I just reach all the places where she was. So in she share with us how to make good use of suffering so that you can get happiness. If you know how to get good use of mud, then you can become beautiful lotuses. So it's a magic. Magic comes within you. You don't need to be a magician, but you can wander to each and everybody's life with your sweet words and with your upgraded thinking. That's all. Over to you.
Thanks a lot for helping us in understanding that we must believe in the magic. So this was all from my side. Because of time constraint, I will not be able to give chance to more people. So my request to you is please keep coming in Globetrotters meeting. Keep giving us lot of blessings so that we all get the pleasure of learning more and growing more. So back to the most distinguished person who is here in the room, and that is none other than the handsome gentleman, Toastmaster. No, not at all. Distinguished Toastmaster, Ayan Pal. Over to you.
Thank you so much, dearest table topic master. That was an amazing table topics indeed. Before I start off, I would quickly like to request Madhurima, the timer, to tell us about the timings of our table topic speakers. Madhurima?
Yes. Just a minute. TM Madhusudan used 1.28 minute. TM Shomita speaks 1.28 minutes. TM Poonam speaks 2.17 minutes. TM Lina speaks 1.30 second. And TM Sravani Gadai speaks 1.33 second.
Okay. So everyone is eligible, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Can we have a huge round of applause for Lina? Sorry, for our timer, Madhurima. Well done, everyone. Now, I would request the R counter and the grammarian, the language evaluator, to tell us how we performed in terms of our communication today.
Hello, good morning once again. Toastmaster Shomita used so one time. Toastmaster Lina used three times. Toastmaster Sharpani Gorai used so two times. As a R counter, this is my report. And as a grammarian, bags of good usage of the grammar was the bags of munching, beautiful Himalayan range, and two times Madhusudan, Toastmaster Madhusudan used the word of the day, and one time Lina used the word of the day. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much. Now, let me very quickly go on to the table topics themselves. Let's start off with Madhusudan. Madhusudan, thank you for telling us that travel is an investment in yourself. That was your topic and you handled it quite well. You explained, what I really liked was when you explained about the weekend as a means to recharge oneself. Very well used. You also used the word of the day, which is not easy to do at all. I just think when you can be a little better, Madhusudan, is the way you control your virtual settings. You were swaying back and forth like this, and your head was getting cut off. It was in and out, in and out. Maybe you can work a little bit more on your gestures and body language so that your face is not getting cut off, as I just demonstrated. Our next speaker, Shushmita Sen, sorry, Shomita Sengupta, was speaking about the earth as music for those who listen. I love the way when you mentioned that when we are awake, we have the desire for dreams and we are nurturing and we can hear the beautiful, beautiful sound from within. Listen to music and earth and soul. So very poetic, but we have to be a little careful about your words. You mentioned that even the deaf and dumb can hear. So obviously, if someone is deaf, they can't hear. So maybe you can use other words like even the deaf and dumb can experience the music of the earth because words are very powerful and maybe we can make them more powerful when we use them appropriately. Our third speaker was Poonam. To travel is to live is the topic she got. Love the way you're hooked to traveling, the fact that you travel thrice a year. My only suggestion is stare into the camera. I think you're staring somewhere in the screen. Maybe you're looking at Richa as the table topic master and addressing her, which is very, very common to do. But you had a lot of pluses. Your expressions were great and your descriptions were fabulous. I also love the fact that you used the word of the day. Well done. Our fourth speaker was Leena Jain, and I think Leena, you handled the topic very well. You spoke exactly what you had to speak. You were on time and you were right. Again, I feel that there was a lot of scope in terms of having better body language and voice modulation to just have a little bit more impact. And if you are probably closer to the screen, closer to the camera, you might be able to see those expressions better. Right now, I think you're connected with a mobile. I may be wrong. Because of that, becomes a bit difficult to understand. And also, there was a little bit of delay in spotlighting the speaker. So I could not see all the speakers exactly from the moment they started the speeches. So maybe we can take care of that. Our final speaker was Shravani. And Shravani, for you, I think you're referencing Gayatri's speech, which, for this particular topic was appropriate. But please understand, you should never reference any other speaker's speech. In fact, if you do that, as a table topic contestant, without knowing or knowing, unknowingly or knowingly, you will get disqualified. So try not referencing anything else that has happened in the speech and come up with your own ideas. The very fact that the topics were related to travel is because our theme and our keynote speaker had a speech that was about the parikrama or the circumambulation of the Narmada River. Okay, however, it was a wonderful experience to refer to, and you referring to that made great sense. Shravani, you too, I think today you were also using a mobile, which is great, and I think there's a very strong posture, but it gets very difficult to see you if you're not very close to the camera. So when you're digital, try to be at an optimum level. So maybe about one arm, as you can see, one arm away from the camera. That's the optimum level. And this part should be visible. So that's the part that we are able to show so that we can see more of the facial expressions. And when you're standing, of course, we can see more of body language. So either of the two, not in between. So either go back and stand and we can see all of you, or come close so that we can see the facial expression. So that's the only suggestion I have. And now for the table topic mistress. I think, Richa, there were outstanding topics. You had amazing poise. I'm not surprised that you won all these awards. Because sometimes you have people who come in and they're distinguished Toastmasters, and when they start speaking, you're like, how did they become distinguished Toastmasters? So, Richa, that was not applicable for you. And you were outstanding today. I loved the way you were dressed professionally to the T. Your topics were very well aligned to the speech and to the theme of the meeting, which was about the Narmada Parikrama, more or less, even though we did not have a theme as such. The topics were very good, and you did not shy away from acknowledging that you made mistakes. For example, you initially thought that it is not Shomita but Shushmita, and then you actually said, I apologize, and corrected yourself, which is a sign of a great leader and a great communicator. Overall, Richa, your topics are so good. I wanted to speak on all of them, but I could not. The only suggestion I have for you is today I saw there were a little bit of a miss when it came to the screens being shared and the people being spotlighted. As a language evaluator, I could not see all the speakers from the moment they had started speaking. So maybe if you could just wait a little till you could see them on camera. I know you kept saying that again and again, but before they started speaking and then give them the topic, then all of us would have been a little bit more careful. That having been said, wonderful job, Richa, and I thank you so much for visiting our club. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Can we have a huge round of applause for first, the table topic mistress, Richa? Thank you so much. Then for the language evaluator, Pooja. Thank you, Pooja, for helping us ameliorate our fears of public speaking, and that's one more word of the day for you. And finally, the timer, Madhurima. You are not just a mother to your darling daughter, you mothered and not smothered her today by ensuring you keep the time absolutely on track. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, your TV topic evaluator, signing off for the day. Back to the Master of Ceremonies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TTM Ayan and TTM Richa, for conducting this wonderful session on table topics. So it's now the time to get back to our presiding officer to give her the stage so that she can welcome you all and can say the goodbye. So please, Madam President Officer, TM Shushmita, please, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Debanjana. And thank you to everyone who were present here today. And we had such a great meeting and learned a lot. Not only we have learned how to learn in front of public, but also learn how we can be in our daily life from DTM Gayatri. Thank you, DTM Gayatri, for telling this story first time ever on stage, and that also in Globetrotters Toastmasters Club. Can we have a big round of applause? And yeah, I will remember that. I will not be angry from inside, but I will not forget to show my anger. This is required when I am a mother. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, our immediate past District Director DTM Ayanpal, to be present here and for your gracious presence. We would love to hear. We have heard the feedback about table topic session, but we would love to hear some feedback about the meeting as a whole.
Okay, thank you so much, Rishmita. I think it's always great to come to Globetrotters meeting, and today we actually had a speech with the theme of globetrotting in terms of the parikrama. That was very interesting. But I think we just have to let people know what to expect. I saw a lot of people kind of leaving the meeting immediately after the speech got over. So I felt in terms of people knowing what to expect is very important. Also, the timing cards were shown, and it seemed like the speech was going on and on and on. So maybe we can be a little bit more clear that the timing for the speech is over. Now it is the timing for the question and answer. So people would not understand that there is a format that separately the two portions are being timed. So this is for our MC Devanjana. So maybe if you could just make it clear, because for a lot of people, they expect speeches to be 5 to 7 minutes. And it was more of a storytelling. So sometimes we can't expect people to always know. Okay. For example, I had to mention in the chat section, can you please spotlight the speaker? So we expect that everyone knows, everyone has seen contests. Not everyone has, not everyone understands. So whenever there is a gaffe, if we can be a little bit clearer, it's better. For example, today, during the speech, even though we saw those chat messages, please keep your questions to yourself. And we have a separate question and answer. I think one of the speakers, for genuine reasons, kept asking Gayatri, oh, is that a lungi or is that a dhoti? And it became a conversation. And I am glad Gayatri did not get into a lungi dance or something to demonstrate more. That would have been a little too much. But then I think sometimes Gayatri, even as speaker, this is the feedback I have to give. We have to understand when to draw the line because we can't take those questions. Maybe the person once or twice it was okay. And then if you could have just told that, thank you so much for the question, but we have a separate question and answer. Maybe we can handle this later on. Because it got a little out of hand, I thought, because maybe the person who was asking the questions was genuinely involved in the speech. So overall, this was a good meeting. However, it could have been a meeting that could have been even better. I know it was being recorded and people are going to listen to it. So when people try to listen to a speech where someone else is interrupting, it's probably not the best message we're trying to get. That having been said, we also have to be very purposeful about the timing we get. And I know there was an agenda that time was allocated to everyone that, this person should take this much time, this person should take that much time, which we may or may not be able to do because nowhere is it written that a timer should say take this much or an hour counter should take this much. The only timing we have in control are for table topics and for evaluations and for speeches. And whenever you have special speeches like Gayatri's, which I believe was actually on time, unless I'm mistaken, when you take all the timings together, you have to be very, very careful about how you're showing the timing cards. Otherwise, it gets a little confusing. Another point, I think today at the end of her speech, Gayatri, in a very genuine act, thanked a lot of people. I think it was a very emotional moment for her. She has not delivered this story anywhere. She delivered it for the first time here. So Gayatri, thank you. On behalf of the club, thank you for delivering this speech, but also on behalf of the members, they would have probably thought, oh, the speech is over. She has also thanked why she's still here, why she's speaking. So we have to be a little aware that not everyone is aware. And not everyone being aware makes or that causes us to be even more responsible because people are looking at you. People are actually probably thinking about going on these trips when they hear you. But I think that is the beauty of a Toastmasters club and a club like Globetrotters, where you travel the world without moving an inch. Today, I think we all of us, in some way or the other, travel the world without moving an inch from our seats, from our homes, from the comfort of our homes and through technology. And the more we travel, the more we grow. The more we grow, the more to the world we can show. And the more we do both of that, the better we will be as communicators, as leaders, and most importantly, as human beings. So from that perspective, on behalf of District 124, I thank Globetrotters for being on the right path. And I hope we can continue to have such special meetings with such wonderful speeches and wonderful table topics and wonderful evaluations. Thank you so much, and back to you, Shushmita.
Thank you, DTM Anwar. We will keep everything on our mind, and as we all are learning and there is always scope of improvement, we will try to incorporate those things and we will improve. And as this was a very special meeting close to our heart, travel related theme, and only we had the table topic session, we haven't kept any voting link for today, as we all are the winners. That's what, and we are getting feedback from none other than DTM and Pearl. So we have learned a lot from each table topic and each table topic evaluation, and we will try to integrate in our speech as well. And with this, it's time to close our meeting as we are exactly 12 p.m. And before that, I would love to hear a couple of words from our area director, Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susmita. Thank you, Gayatri, for sharing your transformation journey with us. I still remember the date on 15 May when I discussed with you and you share your story of your Narmada Parikrama. And I told you that this would be shared with each and everyone in Toastmasters also, because many people can get a lot of inspiration from your journey, because it's a life-changing journey. Travel 3,500 kilometers, spend almost 7 months, 30, 15 or 16 days. I don't know the exact day, but it's an amazing journey. And as a Toastmaster, we should know that, because through your journey, we can transform our life as well. And I want you to share with more number of players with your journey. Such an amazing journey. And rest part, I think our immediate past district director already said about feedback of our club and also extra structure of the meeting. I'll not go to that part, but thank you, DTM Richa, for sharing your presence as a table topic masters. And thank you, DTM Ointwell, becoming a table topic evaluator, so that many of you can learn of things from you, both of you, as a becoming a better Toastmasters. So with that, I want to just hand over the podium to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Susmita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. And once again, we are very grateful and thankful to DTM Ayanpal, DTM Richa, DTM Gayatri, Toastmaster Shomita, who is waiting for her DTM, and to all the Toastmaster and guests who all are present here to present for the whole meeting and with camera on. Thank you once again. And with that, I officially close the meeting and the room is open for chit chat. And host, you can now turn off the recording.